everyone, welcome back. I want to hop on here and talk about my experience not only during COVID-19 as a medical student, but an online medical student, and share a little bit with you about my journey on how I ended up at a Caribbean medical school. So, to give you a little bit of background on me, if you're in the position of deciding whether or not it is a wise choice for you to go ahead and apply to a Caribbean medical school, I had my bachelor's degree in biology, and from there I went to actually obtain my master's degree in medical science. Now, I was not actually planning on getting a master's degree. I went ahead, I took the MCAT, I applied to medical schools, and I did not get accepted. So that is the reason why I went ahead, wanted to beef up my resume a little bit more academic wise, and I went with my master's degree. I went ahead, took the MCAT 2 more times, and I did not get the score I wanted. And my third year that I was thinking about reapplying to a US medical school, I realized that I did not want to take the risk or the chance, and that's when I looked into St. George's University. Now, mind you, even though I did have my master's and my bachelor's degree, underneath of that, I did have a lot of clinical experience, a lot of volunteer work, especially with our Indiana donor network. And then I also had a lot of hands-on things. So even in high school, I was working as an intern in a mortuary, working alongside pathologists and our county coroner, doing autopsies and kind of just examining bodies, learning how to do different sutures. And then that carried on to my undergrad, where I served as a human anatomy dissection intern. So I was able to dissect a full human cadaver for an entire year, and then basically tutor students who were in anatomy 1 what I had dissected and what they were learning in lab, as well as being an anatomy lab tutor. So I did have a pretty substantial resume, I thought, going in, and then as well as life experience after undergrad while I was working to apply. I worked as a microbiologist for close to 2.5 years. I was promoted in that position. So I had what I felt was a very good resume, but my testing scores for MCAT were lacking. And I knew this going into my third year, and I had applied to St. George's University in the past, got accepted, but really just wanted to attend a US medical school. My third year, I finally decided that, you know what, I'm tired of waiting, to be honest, and that is when I opened up to St. George's University. Now, the reason I selected St. George's University was, one, their accreditation, and them being in the top 4, top 3, it sometimes flips based on what you're researching, but they were a school that was accredited. They had a lot of background information on them, lots of students I could reach out to, even ones that were currently in residency, to share their experience on what a Caribbean medical school was like. Now, so many people have so much hate towards a Caribbean medical school, but if it is in your path in your life and the way life is working out for you as a US medical student or striving to be one, and you find yourself making the choice, it is sometimes your only path. And sometimes a lot of people just like me, we don't listen to no. And I can honestly say that so many people are like, oh, if you don't get into a US med school, you're gonna fail medical school going to the Caribbean. I can honestly say I've excelled at St. George's University, and even being online, the resources, the professors, everything that I have been in contact with, everything that I have been scared of going into being a Caribbean medical school student has completely been abolished. My experience so far, again, I can only attest to it being online at St. George's University, has been great. I think the only thing that I have ran into was, not having that face-to-face interaction with your peers and learning who you're going to be graduating with and feeding off of them in person, but you do it over Zoom. Things just not being able to experience the campus. But all in all, my online experience has been well, except for the technical difficulties that pop up. But if you are considering going to a Caribbean medical school, my number one suggestion is try all that you can, especially if you're from the United States, to go ahead and do so. Try to get into a US school, and if it's just not working, if things aren't lining up, then I would go ahead and look into a Caribbean medical school. But make sure you stick with the top ones. I would personally suggest Ross University and St. George's University if you're looking into applying, and the I think it's American University of the Caribbean. One of those, I believe it's in St. Martin, is another very good school to look into as well. Another thing that I would like to talk about is residencies and kind of the stigma behind going to a Caribbean medical school and only being able to make things like family medicine or internal medicine. So, while it is very common for Caribbean medical students to go into these sectors of medicine, know that it shouldn't be a turning point or deterring factor for you to go ahead and apply to a Caribbean medical school. I am a firm believer in that nobody is going to tell me my path and nobody's going to decide it for me, and no matter where I go, it's not going to determine the outcome or effects. What's going to determine that is me and working hard. And I know a lot of the things with the USMLE Step 1 and Step 2 and how that scoring works could be either a pro or a con, the way you look at it. But I am just here to let you know that my experience at St. George's University has been very well so far on just being an online student. And I can't wait to get to campus. Hopefully I'll be able to meet a lot of people down there. I am extremely nervous about going, and it's so weird to think that I spent 2 years of medical school online, and I'm finally going down for my last term, so it's crazy. But I hope to see you guys all there and applying. If you have any questions, any videos coming up that you would like me to do, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. I am currently a term 3 medical student, and so we'll be ending here in the next 3 weeks. Hopefully everything goes well as I'm expecting and I pass everything. I can give you updates on term 3 in about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, give or take, and then I'll be starting term 4 for the long haul term. I know everyone's kind of scared about term 4 coming up, but I wish you guys all the best of luck. If you have any questions about my education, kind of my clinical experiences, my time in the mortuary, my time as a microbiologist, I'm happy to make videos on those and keep you guys up to date. But I just want to drop this simple, short, and sweet video to encourage those of you who are thinking about applying to a Caribbean med school. And if you have already applied and you're watching my videos and you got accepted, congratulations, and I cannot wait for you to start your journey into medicine. As always, thank you for joining, subscribing, and liking, and I look forward to talking with all of you soon.